You feel this nervousness on the phone there?
Sir, I've been trying to make an urgent phone call up there.
Well, I don't think it's something I want to do on an overseas phone.
You gotta make some phone calls. Hang up the phone. Prank caller. Prank caller.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to Packernet After Dark. This is the call-in show, the Packernet Podcast Network. If you'd like to call in, if you'd like to participate in the show, please feel free to do so. The phone number here is 608-501-0718. New callers go directly to the front of the line. We don't have any new callers today, but we got Jared, the Uber driver. What's going on, man?
Howdy, this is Jared Schrader, the Uber driver from Texas.
What's up?
Hey, don't do that in my hair. Rude. Sorry, my daughter was putting... Stop. I said stop. Thank you. Okay. I was putting toys in my hair, and my hair gets really tangled, so it's a fun time. Anyways, so...
It's one of the fun things about when you're a dad and you're kind of like, you screw around a lot. Sometimes you have to have like that voice that's like, this isn't the joking around dad now. You know what I mean? This is like me actually, I actually mean stop, not like, oh, stop, you're killing me. It's a different thing.
So the Seahawks, Super Bowl champions, congrats to them. We'll see them next year. We'll see what happens. But man, that was unexpectedly not close. I thought it was going to be a little closer than that. But unfortunately, I don't think Drake May was quite ready. Hold on. It's okay, baby girl. Okay. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, it was a good game. Or decently fun to watch. There were only like two ads that I really liked, especially the polar bear ad where they got caught cheating. On the Jumbotron. That was a great reference.
I didn't see that.
And then just all the references or all the random things they did in that Dunkin' commercial. Kinsley! Come back over here. You're a cuckoo? She called me cuckoo.
Oh, dang.
I get off the phone. Go back up.
Dang. She dropped the C word on you. Yeah, no, like I said, I saw the one commercial and the dude fell down and got hurt. I thought that was funny. Otherwise, there wasn't much, but I didn't watch the second half, so I don't know. Like I said, it was the most like just Super Bowl I've ever witnessed.
Hey guys, Bear Chase Betty.
What's up, dude?
Yeah, so the Super Bowl happened. What a pathetic Super Bowl, to be honest with you, man. No, I will say the Seahawks, they definitely deserve it. And I think they were the better team in the NFL all year. But tell me, how the hell, when your kicker scores about, what was it, 17 or 18 of your 29 points, or whatever it was, how the hell is he not MVP, man? That's bullcrap, dude. I'm sorry, but if Brandon McManus did that kind of crap in the Super Bowl, like we were in a Super Bowl and he just made all the points, I'd be like, bro, give him the MVP. What are we doing? Like, he's the only one that did any damn thing the whole game. And by the way, if the Packers had done what the Seahawks did, well, they would have lost. Because that's just how it goes. Like, if we just settled for field goals, because, like, I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, man, this is crazy. And, like, the Seahawks, they get to just go downfield, score field goals, and then, like, you know, never give up any points, so it doesn't really matter. Like, but the Packers do it, it's like, oh, you're screwed because you didn't score a touchdown. So, yeah, we just need to have a better defense next year with Micah back, and hopefully Lucas Van Ness is finally elite. I think he took some good steps this last year. And, you know, I'm listening to your conversation about the D-line. I couldn't agree more, man. You know, let's stop trying to get these beefy bastards. Let's get some damn guys that can, I mean, they still can be beefy, but let's get some damn guys who can actually get through the line and, like, get sacks and, like, you know, also stop the run. Like, they don't have to be insane at stopping the run. Just freaking be decent at it, dude. And then our linebackers, I trust them. Corners, obviously, I'd like to add some depth there. So, I mean, we're going to win the Super Bowl next year, bro. It just is what it is, man. We have to. It's an odd year. We got to win it on the odd years, bro.
That's true.
Can't win it on an even year.
No.
So, Super Bowl being 27, so that's why I said yeah, go back, go.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think everyone knows we're going to win the Super Bowl. It's not really debated. It's just a matter of waiting, you know. Just gotta wait for it to come to us.
Hey, Baghdadi, it's Garrett from Southern Illinois.
Yo, yo.
Well, the Super Bowl is over, and initially I was like, all right, I definitely thought Seattle was a stronger team going into that game, and that proved to be right. But, man, it was pretty much a dud for the first three quarters. Last quarter, New England finally showed up a little bit, but Seattle definitely is an up-and-coming team that I think could be legit for a little while. So there's another team that put up there with who we're going to have to face in the playoffs probably for years to come. I want to move on to something else because it was clear and present that New England's offensive line really could not protect May at all. And it brings me to the obvious question, and that is, where do you think Rasheed Walker could land this offseason? Because I just don't see how that they're going to be bringing him back. And, I mean, New England's definitely a team that looks like they need somebody at left tackle. I'm sure there are a lot of other teams too, but I just don't see him returning. And so what has occurred to me is, what if this guy moves on to another team and then becomes an all-pro for another team? Does that then completely justify our fears that for the longest time we have an offensive line coach who is not getting the best out of the players? So it's something to watch next year, Ryan, to see how well he does for another team. I know in the past we've watched some of our players go on to play for other teams and have tracked to see how well they do for other teams, but this is one that is, I think, very pertinent and justifiable to watch very, very closely, see how well he does, and if he does blow up and become an all-pro for someone else, then I think those cries for firing Butkus get even hotter. So I will quit my job and stand outside of Goody's office every day and scream to the heavens that Butkus sucks. So we'll see. Happy Monday, Ryan.
Well, the only thing I would say that might throw a wrench in that plan is it's possible that the only reason the guy is even on the map to begin with is Stenovich. Remember, he's a 7th-round prospect that got developed here in Green Bay when Stenovich was our offensive coordinator. I just think a lot of guys either regressed or completely stopped growing once Stenovich became our offensive coordinator and Butkus took over. So all that to say, you know, I don't know that he gets better because I think he got good under Stenovich. It could happen. I mean, he regressed last year, so he could get back to what he was, 2 years ago, certainly, which would seem like improvement, which could maybe answer the question. I don't know, man. I don't know what exactly could happen outside of, we just have to see something, I need to see Jordan Morgan improve. I need to see Belton improve and be a right guard. I need to see Sean Ryan improve. If we draft more offensive linemen, I'd like to see them be able to play on the offensive line and not just go, well, there's another one that kind of failed. Because, again, to your point, it's like, man, we used to be really good at offensive line. And it's like, when did we stop being able to draft and develop offensive linemen? It was like, well, it was exactly when Stenovich stopped being our offensive line coach. Just a thought. I mean, the Packers obviously don't agree, but I can't help but notice. You know what I mean? Call me the noticer.
If I could really give a quick summary of what I thought of that game last night to Ryan is, you notice that, I mean, I didn't expect New England to have any offensive output really, since they pretty much struggled against a backup in Denver. They really didn't play a lot of good teams over the year anyways. So I was kind of surprised at just how much of a dud that game was the first three quarters. But noticeably, not a single flag even thrown through three quarters. I hate to say it, but I think if Green Bay had been playing in that game, they probably would have been flagged during warmups, knowing them. So that was kind of new experience to watch a game and go that long without even having a flag thrown.
That's pretty nice.
So it was kind of pleasant to watch. But I don't know. It was a dud through three quarters. I give it to Seattle. They definitely had the better team. So, all right. The season's over, Ryan. Now it's time to start talking about free agency,
Heck yeah,
mock drafts, and all the other off-season topics that we can come up with. So, here we go.
Yep, and tomorrow, as promised, I do stay on track. I mean, I was a little off track. So tomorrow is McManus, a deep dive into that situation and my full thoughts on that. And then starting looking at some of the contract stuff. It got a little deeper than I was expecting, which is good. It's we look pretty heavily into Rashawn Gary and those kinds of things. Oh, by the way, you had mentioned Rasheed going to the Patriots. I don't think that's going to happen. He'll go somewhere. Obviously, it doesn't really matter. But I only bring that up because I just recently saw that, when I did my mock draft, I mocked them a left tackle with the thought that maybe, what the heck is the guy's name? Will something. Campbell. He's the left tackle. He's, first round pick, highly touted guy. A lot of people are like, he's a guard. He's not a tackle. That's the problem. He should have been a guard. So I'm thinking, okay, they'll kick him inside, draft a tackle. You upgrade two positions at once. Well, the head coach already come out and said, Will Campbell is our left tackle. So with that, I doubt Rasheed ends up going there. But yeah, he'll end up going somewhere else and getting some pretty good money. I assume. Weird stuff always happens. You never know. It's kind of what I talked about on tomorrow's podcast as well, as far as, this seems pretty obvious to me that this is the situation, but crazy stuff happens all the time. I couldn't count on both my hands and toes and every hair on my head the amount of times I said this is what's going to happen, and that's absolutely not what happened. But, all right, why don't we take a little break, and we'll be back with AA Ron.
So, Brian, it's Aaron from Eau Claire. Hope everything's going good. The Super Bowl last night, kind of obviously a disappointing performance from the Patriots, and I don't know. I didn't mind the two teams that were there. You said something like that in your podcast as well. I didn't hate either of them, and both of them seem to be teams that have a pretty good, scrappy quality to them. Work hard, put your head down.
Yeah.
Which I always respect, instead of the Chicago Bears yapping and all that stuff, just being arrogant. Anyways, but a couple of things. So first of all, how bad does Minnesota look now that Sam Darnold won a Super Bowl?
Yeah, dude.
The year after they traded him. Yeah. And how bad of a decision does that look now? Pretty bad, right?
Real bad.
I do not envy the folks there at the Minnesota Vikings right now.
Well, it's not like it was a super hot take or anything, but I had said this last year, that this is a really major decision, because if he really is this good and you cut him, you look like a complete idiot. On the flip side, if you drafted a guy and you decide to keep him, and this was kind of a fluke, you want to invest in the guy that you drafted. I mean, it's a. I'm not going to pretend it was an easy decision. And in all honesty, I mean, not that I'm in the room to see how bad things were or how good he was or whatever the case may be. It's probably the decision I would have made. But holy crap, that's freaking sucks. Because, I mean, he's going to be probably a top quarterback for a long time now. He's a relatively young quarterback. He'll give you another 10 years probably that Seattle's going to be playing solid football with Darnold at quarterback. The Vikings could have had that. Probably the best quarterback they've had in I don't know how long. I mean, I always liked Kirk Cousins. He never played at that level. I mean, we're talking. I mean, Kirk was top 10 a couple times, but I mean, in the MVP conversation, maybe prior to the season, you had that freaking dumb Jagoff who always talked about, oh, Kirk's going to be MVP or whatever. Obviously, that was never even in discussion by the end of the season. But yeah, I mean, that's freaking crazy. That's crazy. I mean, just the amount of pain. If they stop and really think about it, that's got to hurt deep into your soul.
They have a lot of explaining to do. You could say that, well, the process was the right thing to do because we had this, drafted quarterback that was this guy. But, I don't know. Part of me thinks maybe, if you have a quarterback that's winning and playing really well, don't cut him maybe,
Yeah.
Maybe wait a little bit longer before you make the decision that he's not the long-term solution.
Well, and that kind of goes to what Gutekunst said when they were talking about Aaron Rodgers, and that is, look, when you have a guy like this, you don't let him go, period. I think he was talking about the extension they gave him because he was kind of catching some heat, and he's like, look, the guy won back-to-back MVPs. I'm sorry, but, as far as process goes, it feels like moving on is the mature adult thing to do, but you want to talk about what the Packers process is in that situation, it's exactly what you said. You don't let a guy like that walk out the door. And that's probably a big part of what got Kwesi fired, because I'm guessing 31 other GMs have that same philosophy of you don't let a guy like that walk out the door.
As a Packers fan, I'm grateful that they moved on from him, frankly. But second of all, you've been talking about defensive tackle on your podcast. And what do you think of this? Okay. In this draft, they set a rule. The Packers set a rule. All they can draft is O-line and D-line the entire draft. That's it.
Deal.
They just stock up on as many O-line and D-line players as possible. Some of them will pan out, some of them won't. And they just absolutely load up on those guys. I mean, obviously they're not going to do that. That's not good draft process, but it would be kind of fun to see, especially if they got some good hits. It would be fun to see if that actually would help solve some of our team's problems. But yeah, what do you think? Would that be fun, or would it just be stupid?
Well, it's both. It'd be a lot of fun. I would agree with the sentiment that it's the best way to fix those problems. But yeah, of course it's stupid. But it's stupid, but I would do it. The other thing is, we talked about defensive tackle and the whole size thing. So earlier today, if you listen to the draft podcast, I went through defensive tackle, and a lot of good information on there. But the one thing that absolutely stands out is if you want a 325 plus pounder, good Lord, I would almost be shocked if we don't get that giant one-tech nose tackle. I don't even know what our defensive front is going to be, but if we don't get one of those guys, because if we talked about 10 defensive tackles, I don't know the exact number that I talked about, but if I did 10, 8 or 9 of them were 325 plus. I know one for sure. It might have been like the first and last one only, something like that. Maybe there were 3. I don't know. Every other one is 325 plus. They're all huge. Now, the first half of them are out of our range anyway, but the second half of them, again, there's the one guy out of, is it Indiana or Oklahoma? I can't remember. Whatever. That is, he's like 3'10". He's tiny in comparison to these other guys, which, by the way, is almost Kenny Clark weight, who we had at nose tackle forever. But, I mean, legit 325 plus guys, it's the whole group. Now, I don't know what's after that. We'll get there eventually. But my goodness, that is just, and like, I think we do need that. And I don't mean the weight. Again, I did a whole thing on it's not about the weight. But, I mean, if you're looking for a run defender, as much as I would prefer a guy that could do a little bit more and doesn't have the cardio constraints to only be on the field for 2 snaps. But, I mean, one of the points I had made on the draft podcast was, if there was ever a draft where 2, 3, maybe 4 guys come out of the class as like actually really good run defenders, this is the class. So if you're going to find that defensive tackle that's actually going to come in and be a stud run defender, he's in this class. It's just a question of, are you going to find him? The pass rush is appalling. I think in the entire group, there might have been like 20 sacks for all 10 of them. It was... The most I remember, I did this a couple hours ago. The most I remember a guy got in a season was 5. And he might have had like 7 or 8 in his entire college career. 5 was like a peak, fluky kind of year. Almost every single one of these guys had between 0 and 2 sacks a year. They are entirely useless as pass rushers. Almost every single one of them. At least as far as the college production. There's a couple like, well, we think, he's an athletic freak, but those are especially like the early first round guys. Second round and later, no freaking chance. No chance. So understand what you're getting in these guys. It is a big dude that we're hoping can stop the run, and we're hoping he can jog off the field fast enough to get off on 3rd and 15 so we can get the right personnel on the field. Other than that, we have no expectations for you. But I do think there's value in that because, again, if you're going to just rush 4, you need to be able to use 4 up front, not just as pass rush, but also in run defense. Because if you can't stop the run with 4, now we have to engage our linebackers and our safeties a little bit more. We don't want them to have to worry about anything. You just stay back and cover. That's it. Don't worry about it. We got it. It's not just rush 4. It's stop the run with 4 too.
Hey, Ryan, Beer Cheese Benny.
Yo.
Monday after the Super Bowl. And I'm sure you're going to get a lot of calls about the halftime show. I didn't watch it. Instead, I watched the All-American halftime show from Turning Point USA.
All right.
And it was pretty good, honestly.
Good. I saw Kid
Rock. It was more in
touch
touch with America and Americans because you could actually understand it. Brantley Gilbert and Lee Bryce, who I saw in concert way back in the day at Summerfest.
I saw Kid Rock in Milwaukee once. It was Kid Rock and some other people. I don't remember exactly who it was, but that was pretty fun. I remember we had like some free tickets, and I just went around asking random girls to go with us, like some friends from our friend group or whatever. And it was pretty fantastic. The girls were very appreciative, and one of the girls was rather attractive and would go around to guys and ask for them to buy her drinks, and then she would like bring me beers just as like payment. She'd just be like, "Oh, thank you," and leave and go. And then we went to some other place. On the way back, we stopped at a gas station, and the girl gets in the car and just hands me a bottle of vodka. She just stole it. So those are different days. I don't partake, and I don't steal, and I don't do bad things like that. But yeah, so I saw Kid Rock once.
Kid Rock, he was badass. Whatever her name is, I don't even remember her name, but dude, it was just so good, man. And it was nothing crazy. It was just pure music, man, and America, dude, and like there was no agenda to it really. And the thing about it, dude, is why I don't like the halftime shows in the NFL. And you know what? I think Roger Goodell had a little talk with Bad Bunny because he was talking about he's going to wear a dress, and I bet you he was like, Roger's like, listen, man, we can't do this crap, dude. Like we're already getting freaking flack for the fact that you don't even speak English in your songs. Like, so don't be a freaking idiot and wear a dress and do all this queer stuff or whatever you want to talk about. Just sing your song.
I was gonna scold you for saying you're not allowed to say that, but I just said it the other day, so I don't know the rules. I don't know if you're allowed to say that or not.
Get it over with. And you know what, like how Bad Bunny came out and said, you better learn English, like, and I heard something, I don't know if it's real, but he
Spanish,
was saying like, if you're white, I just don't even want you watching my performance. Like, what?
I doubt he said that.
All right, I'm not gonna watch it then. Like, I'm sorry, dude, I won't be demonized like that. So I watched Turning Point USA's, and I don't care what you have to say about it. I thought it was great. It was good music. And, you know, the halftime show really, it has not always been this bad. Because I remember even when Packers in the Super Bowl, the Black Eyed Peas played. And, dude, that was actually pretty good. And, like,
that was pretty
even
good.
A couple of years ago when they had Snoop Dogg and Eminem.
Snoop
and, like,
Dogg was good.
I thought that was, like, pretty damn good. And, like, I don't know, dude. It is what it is. But it seems
I meant to pause that like a long time ago, and my freaking computer froze. Now I can't unpause it, so I'll have to filibuster while my computer unfreezes. But what I was going to say is that Prince obviously was fantastic. There were some other ones. I think even like Katy Perry, which is not my style at all, and there were certain elements where I kind of rolled my eyes, like, oh, give me a break. But I remember it being good. I mean, first of all, she is a good singer, and I think the production was a little over the top, but it was. I thought it was a good show overall. I think the last 2 years have been, and there's been bad shows, but the last 2 years have been, not great. And I forgot who it was recently sent me a message and kind of with the theory, maybe it was Arles, but I don't know. I don't think so. But the kind of the idea that the controversy behind it is actually a benefit more so than anything else. You know, the fact that every year it's sort of a scandalous, like, oh, that's terrible, and it makes it more, you know what I mean? Like, I even though I know I'm not going to like it, I think a lot of people want to tune in. You know, I don't want to see a dude wearing a dress, but I'm going to watch it to see if he does, you know? Like, I just want to see what's going to, like, if something crazy happens, he can do something crazy. I want to see crazy stuff. I don't know that that's the case. I hadn't really considered it until somebody had reached out about that, about, you know, maybe the controversy ends up being kind of a positive in a way, which, you know, again, kind of falls in line with my theory that it's all about just getting more people. Now, I don't know that, I almost think that would be giving them too much credit. I don't think that not only do they not know anything about, I guarantee you Roger Goodell has never heard the name Bad Bunny before, which I don't even think he's in charge of that. Somebody said Jay-Z is in charge of picking the people. I don't know. It doesn't matter. The point is to have the forethought of knowing who Bad Bunny is and how it could be controversial and why it would. I don't think they expected it to be controversial. I think it just kind of became controversial and whatever. But it's an unfortunate possibility that they're wanting to create controversy, which I don't know. I say that I hate it in the same way that I hate when teams that I hate play football, but then when teams that I don't hate play football, it's worse somehow. So maybe I like the controversy, you know? It's kind of like, what do I like more? A good Super Bowl halftime show or the ability to piss and moan about how much I hated the halftime show? I don't know. It's close. Probably a good halftime show, but the complaining is part of the fun too.
Here, people are like, oh my God, did you see that? He came out with flags, like all the flags of the country. He's uniting us. He's uniting us. It's like, no, he's not. He's not doing. And it's just like everybody like gawks over like everything. It's just like
the gushing has been pretty pathetic. I mean, it's as kind of over the top as the anger can be toward it. The gushing of like, oh, this was the greatest I've ever seen. It's like, you are so full of crap. It's just people on the other side of the political spectrum who are like who want this to be the greatest thing in the world, pretending that they loved it so much. There was absolutely nothing remarkable about that at all. The music was mediocre. The setting was mediocre. I saw somebody that was like, oh, it was like the greatest production or something. It's like, bro, he like walked through a corn maze. Like, what are we talking about here? I don't know what you're talking about. It was well below mediocre. And you're just saying that because you're in a political debate. So please stop. I saw like Jimmy Kimmel made a joke about that, like how a bunch of people are pretending that they love Bad Bunny now, people that have never heard of Bad Bunny in their life. It's just the whole thing gets to be so obnoxious because it's like everybody's so transparent and nobody can just be honest. It's like, can we just say either, I don't know, I feel like we all see the same reality, but we pretend we see something different to like stick it to the other side, It's like freaking okay, dude, whatever. You didn't like it.
It's just a halftime show, but like at the end of the day, like who cares? Like either watch or you don't. And I'm glad they had the alternative that Turning Point USA did. They actually got like 6 million views.
So I was actually surprised. So I didn't know that was going on. I think I saw, I don't know if it was during or after that was happening. And, again, there's a whole lot of like, oh, this is a change in the culture and all that. I'm like, bro, come on. It's not a freaking, just calm down a little bit. But I was shocked to see that it was like, I don't remember how many, it was a lot more than I thought had tuned into that. It was nowhere near the Super Bowl halftime, but it was a much bigger number than I would have thought would have tuned into that. So you were definitely not alone, Beer Cheese. All right. Let's take a break. We got 1265 on the other side.
Good morning, Packer fans. 1265 fans. So I was listening to Packernet After Dark, the one after the Super Bowl.
Okay.
And this whole Bad Bunny thing started to... So I just have to say, what about the Olympics? Hello? Who cares about the flipping Super Bowl? Olympics.
I'm ashamed to say that was another one. Like I didn't even realize the Olympics were on until I saw that lady like broke her leg, which was horrible, by the way. But yeah, that was like the first I realized, like, oh, it's happening. I didn't know it was happening. I saw like the guy that crazy guy from like Hungary or Turkey or wherever that shoots the gun without any equipment on or whatever. They showed him and they're like, he did it again. And I thought they were just like showing the same clip. No, same guy just like won that whole thing. That guy's awesome, by the way. But no, I'm ashamed to say I have not been watching the Olympics. It sucks too, because when I was a kid, like in the 90s, it was such a big deal. And probably before that too. But there's nothing else going on. So the Olympics was like, yeah, you watch all the events. You're just sitting on there watching the TV as the Olympics go on all day. Now it just kind of passes you by like, oh, did we get a medal? Or I don't know anybody's name. I don't know anybody. I don't have time for that anymore. There's too much crap going on.
Thanks. I am an Olympic. No, what the hell? Everybody swears. I'm an Olympic whore. I love the Olympics. Summer, winter, doesn't matter. I'm all in. I took off Friday. I took off yesterday. I spent both days watching the Olympics.
Made me laugh way harder than it should have. I apologize. I just did not. Well, never mind. I'm sorry.
I love curling. Curling.
Yeah.
So I've been watching that. Our mixed doubles have been rocking the house. Gold medal match is today, folks.
All right.
Today being Tuesday. God, I hope by the time that this call is played, they won the gold. Because, man, they're freaking good. The quarries. Freaking awesome. Anywho. Yeah, so don't care about football. Didn't watch and look at the Super Bowl. I did go to YouTube and watch the Bad Bunny halftime show.
Okay. What'd you think?
Ryan, I'm like you. I'm not a huge Bad Bunny fan. A lot of his songs sound the same. I love Latin music. I love Latin rhythms, all that stuff. Love it.
Latin rhythm.
I do. I don't even care that he was speaking Spanish. I didn't understand it today. I actually liked the halftime show. What they did out in the field, all the stuff that they brought out, like all those trees and grasses, and to me it's amazing how they can get all that out there. And then take it all off within like minutes. It's crazy. But anyway, I thought it was cool looking. Some of the dancing was a little
over the top,
erotic for a family show. And
I would invoke the word you used earlier that I won't use, but it was a field full of them. It was a little gross and disgusting, to be honest.
Maybe I'm just old school. I know that's becoming...
It's not old. I mean, freaking Madonna did this back in the 80s. You know what I mean? It's just, you either think that it's cool and great or you think it's gross and maybe freaking stop it.
Less and less of a thing. But I don't know. Being on regular TV and everybody being able to watch, including families and kids and all that.
Right.
And that, I don't know. I guess there's a lot out there nowadays and people see a lot, including kids. But I don't know. It's not very tasteful in my opinion.
It's not.
But anyway, and this is coming from me. I used to dance. I danced at the age of 5 till I was 19.
Okay.
But
we're learning a lot about 1265 fans, so I was a little nervous about where the dancing story was going.
I don't know. There's just something about that. Anywho, I guess I'm getting about to the 3-minute mark. Got like 10 seconds left, but go USA in the Olympics. USA! USA! USA!
Well, the only thing I'll say on that is morality is not time-based. You know, it's either true or it's not. So, you know, what was true in the 40s and 50s is true today also. It doesn't change. It doesn't evolve. That's not true. So, you know, again, it's either fine or it's not. And, you know, again, like would you walk into, let's say you were going to somebody's house, like somebody from church invites you over to dinner. Would you and your girlfriend like jump up on the table and start grinding on each other in front of their kids? Probably not, because that would be inappropriate. Okay, well, you were in my living room last night. You know what I mean? With my kids. So was that appropriate, you think, or maybe inappropriate? Just a thought. I understand if it's like an R-rated movie, then you're kind of telling me ahead of time this is what it is. But the Super Bowl is a family thing. We're all going to be gathered together. It's like Thanksgiving dinner, and I don't want you to bring your pole dancing girlfriend over in a skimpy outfit to Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, you're old-fashioned. It's not time-based. It's a simple morality question of what is right and what is wrong. And I'm telling you, it's not an opinion. That was not the right thing to do. That was not a good decision. And I don't care if it's cool or hip. It's disgusting and inappropriate. So that's, again, it's not an opinion. That's just the reality of the situation. Embrace the suck. What's going on, dude?
Yeah, Ryan, this is Embrace the Suck. It's been a month since the game against the Bears, and I'm still pissed.
I get it.
I know everything is sorted out as far as coaching staff goes, but I still want him gone. That's not going to change. Since the game last year against the Bears, the way he did that, I'm not a violent person, but if I was to see him in an alley after that game, I would have broke a baseball bat on him. Anyway,
okay.
I think defensively, Rashawn Gary should probably get moved inside if they keep him at all.
It's fair.
He's a good bull rusher, but he don't have the speed to run anybody down. So
it's an interesting thought, you know, since he's basically like edge 3 or 4. He's a rotational piece at this point. We're only using him sparingly as far as his snap counts for whatever stupid reason. It's not that crazy to say if you're going to keep him, let's put him inside as you know, as like a third down interior pass rusher. You know what I mean? I'm open to it.
If you can push him inside, help. That's all I got for now. Later.
Yeah, I mean, that's so. Pardon. I on the podcast tomorrow we talk about Rashawn. My opinion on keeping him was drastically changed. I don't think we will after kind of digging into his contract a little bit, and I'll tell you why tomorrow. But leaving open the fact that I have no idea. I don't know what I don't know, and everything I don't know, Russ Ball does know. Leaving that on the table, I don't hate that as an option for Rashawn Gary if he ends up staying on the team. It's interesting. Benny, not beer cheese. What's up?
Hey, Ryan. This is Ben from Minnesota.
What's up, dude?
I agree with you. Not here to talk about Bad Bunny. I don't care. I thought it was fine. Whatever. No big deal. But I thought 0 hits in the 6th round. Let's change that.
Yeah, dude.
My new guy, Devin Eastern. Out of Minnesota. I'm a Gophers fan, so I always liked this guy. 6'6", 320, defensive tackle, big boy.
Dang it.
I think he's projected somewhere in that 5th, 6th round, somewhere right in there. But always liked the way he played. I thought he would be.
He's not even on the freaking consensus board that has 850 prospects. Hold on. Devin Eastern, Minnesota. Sorry, go ahead. I'll keep digging here.
Higher, honestly, in which maybe he'll stock will rise or whatever, but who knows? Down in the basement trying to work off. I made some pork belly burn ends for the Super Bowl.
Yes. Bro, I've never in my life heard anybody. I mean, obviously I've seen it on YouTube or whatever, but like as far as call-ins, friends of mine, like pork belly burn ends are something that me and my son do. And it is my son's favorite thing. It's one of my favorite things. It's probably something you shouldn't do too many of or too often, although we, whatever. The weather's starting to get nice. I've been kind of teasing a little bit like we should probably do some pork belly. Pork belly burn ends are crazy, dude.
Trying to get rid of that. It's not going too hot because I have leftovers, so I'm going to go eat more of them.
Yep.
All right. I also wanted to ask you, and maybe you'll do a podcast on this. Maybe you already did, and I just didn't hear it.
It's fine.
Who do you think we should keep out of these guys? I would love to keep Romeo. I would love to keep Quay. And I think we should keep Sean Ryan just for his versatility. I don't think we can afford to pay Rasheed. And I don't know about JJ Enigbare. He's kind of one of those guys like, yeah, it'd be nice to keep him. He's done some good things and stuff. But is he, like I know Clayton has used this term, a progress stopper for some of the younger guys? Colin Oliver and them. So I'd like to keep Rome just because, like, let's just say Christian Watson gets hurt again next year. Well, odds are we're probably going to let him go. And if we don't have Rome, we're getting a little thin at wide receiver.
Right.
Let me know your thoughts. Have a good one. Bye.
Well, first of all, Romeo is the ultimate progress stopper. We got guys that could use some opportunities outside of that, but you're right. And that's also why I've not necessarily advocated, but I've mentioned that I wouldn't rule out the possibility of drafting a receiver at some point. As far as Enigbare, look, I mean, if Rashawn does go, which I would say I'm certainly more than 50% on that, he becomes significantly more important. I mean, Colin Oliver was, a 6th-round pick and is really one of those tweener out-of-position guys. The odds of him being anything, in my mind, are very low. And that's unfair to him or whatever, but I in no way am I getting rid of Rashawn and Kingsley because I want to see what this, linebacker edge 245-pound tweener can do. And I know we've got Baron Sorrell too, but he'll get his opportunities as the number 4 edge rusher, pending what we do in the draft. If he's good enough, he'll get the opportunities. And if he's not even as good as Kingsley Enigbare, then I'm glad we kept Kingsley Enigbare. And if he's better than Kingsley, then he'll be our number 3. So we don't need to worry about it. So, I think Kingsley, of that group, I mean, Sean Ryan, I think is more of I'm worried about depth thing than anything. I don't know the status of Elton. Talk about that on tomorrow's podcast. I don't know the status of Banks. Talk about that also. So It's just one of those, if we get rid of him too, I don't know what we have left. We just need bodies, and he's a body. Not a body that I necessarily want, but he's a body. And Rasheed I don't think makes a ton of sense. I'd love to have him, but I don't think it makes sense as far as what he's going to be valued and the fact that we're probably, unless we're going to do this stupid bull crap with Morgan staying as a swing, but I mean, I think that ship has sailed after Rasheed showed he's not really worthy of benching a first-round pick over. I mean, he was not good last year. So, I would lean probably Kingsley. I like Romeo. But even, if Watson goes down, I mean, they're basically completely different positions. He's not going to fill that role of the Watson spot. He's kind of his own guy out on the edge, and honestly, that's the spot I'd like Golden to be a little more. They're not exactly the same, but I'd like Golden to start filling that role specifically. And I think with Romeo out of the way, it forces Golden into that spot. We have no choice at that point, unless we're going to put Wicks there, at which point I'm just going to lose my freaking mind. Did you forget about Golden? It's unfair to get rid of Romeo for that reason, but also you have to factor in the price. I think he's going to get paid fairly well. And as our wide receiver 4, I don't know that we can match that, especially since we have to pay Watson and Reed very soon. Like Watson this year, Tucker probably this year is going to be a big contract, and Reed maybe next year. What can we afford Romeo? Probably not worth as much to us as to another team would be my guess. It'd be interesting to see if he maybe goes to like the Steelers or something too. I bet. I mean, that would be a. You got DK, you got Romeo. I mean, I would have no choice but to root for that freaking team. I don't know. As for your boy, it's hard to find information. Again, he's not even on the consensus board. I'll have to add him to my board on the website just so I can be a step ahead. By the way, I think I'm going to start doing that. If you guys call in, I'll do a little bit of homework, and then I'll add it to my big board, which I'm going to start pushing that a little bit. I haven't been so far, but we're getting to the point where there's a lot of data on there, and it's kind of worth subscribing to. So NFLDraftGrades.com, you can browse for my big board, and I'll give you that information later. But anywho, 6'6", 320, again, a 320-plus guy. Not quite 325, but still, giant dude. Run defense is there. Pass rush, hilariously, is as good as everybody else. He's had 5 sacks the last 2 years. That's probably better than what a lot of the other guys had. But, yeah, 60s and 70s as a run defender. Why not? What else do we got here? Late day 3, 6th, 7th round pick or priority free agent. Elite frame, obviously, as we pointed out. 3-year starter, played nearly 500 snaps. 4-year academic All Big Ten honoree, so that's awesome. You got to like the mathletes. Praised for his intelligence, leadership, and coachability. Accepted an invite to the Senior Bowl, so I'll have to kind of dig in and see if his name popped up as far as any Senior Bowl information. But anywho, yeah, it's a good one. I appreciate you calling that in and putting it on the old radar. I think we're going to call it there. I think we're going to call it because we've only got 6 remaining calls. So we're pretty close. Couple more calls for tomorrow. I'll leave it at that. I'm going to get to work on putting this scouting report in the old big board and making some more tweaks over there. Appreciate you guys all tuning in, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye-bye.